What's good, PFL Nation? It's your boy John Smith in the booth. It is the last game of week 6. Your boy is hyped as we got a massive game here between two very close ranked teams. We got number 8 Notre Dame, who's coming off of that extremely tough loss against Alabama, 19-20, very close game. And we got ranked 6 Texas coming off of their loss 6-13 against Utah. And we all know the story of this game. We all know who I'm about to talk about. We got Lamar Anderson threw 5 interceptions against Utah, and Texas still only lost by 1 possession. So, we're going to have to see a massive bounce back game out of him. It is unacceptable. I'm sure Coach Nickerson told him there is no shot at you doing this again and staying on my team. I know that man does not play, and I'm sure he told him this cannot happen, or else we're going to see Arch Manning out here once again in the starting lineup. So I expect to see a big game out of LA. That's got to be the biggest, most important piece of this game is going to be Notre Dame on defense, trying to keep that man shaken up, trying to keep pressure on him, because if they don't do any pressure, if they let LA get comfortable, then they know that he can absolutely go to work. So I can't wait to watch that lineup of Notre Dame's fantastic defense and see Lamar try to bounce back and have himself a good game. And he is going to get the ball first as we see Notre Dame kick it off. Texas is going to go ahead and get this. They're going to take the knee, and we're going to see our first peek at Lamar Anderson and see how he bounces back after that performance against Utah. The rest of this Texas offense, we do, of course, have the boy Carlos Thompson, who was just in the booth with me yesterday. At running back, we got Abaya at wide receiver. Those are their main stars on offense. We do, of course, have Amari Anthony out there, Julius Thumper out there. But we know we're really going to be looking at that wide receiver 1 and running back 1 all night. As we see Lamar sends the man in motion, sets him back up, and that's going to be a handoff absolutely to start the game, straight to Carlos. And we see a quick and easy game for Carlos. He's had himself a hell of a year. We all know he had a fantastic year last year as well. So I expect to see him get a lot of the ball tonight, especially with the performance we saw from Lamar. I know they're going to be thinking to themselves, we have to keep this man engaged. We got to keep the running game moving if we're going to want to put up points against this Notre Dame defense. We see Lamar send him out in motion, find him in the flat. Nice and easy as they fight their way for the first down. And Texas is enjoying this quick ball movement. We see them lining up in the I form. This is their go-to run formation. You see the play action. Lots of time. Super great protection. Pressure finally coming. Still can't get rid of the ball. And is ripped down as we see the big sack out of Franklin Clinton, that left end. That dude is fast and will get to you if you give yourself way too much time in that pocket. Lamar's got to get rid of that ball. Maybe we're seeing some hesitation because of what we saw out of him last week, but Clinton does not care as he comes chasing in. Absolute monster hit, 11-yard sack, and just like that, all the progress they made on moving those first chains is brought right back to him as we have 2nd and a country mile, 21 yards here for Lamar Anderson. Let's see what Texas cooks up. They do just go for the dump off. Nowhere really for Carlos to run off of that. Great tackle, stopping him from getting any kind of extra yards after the catch. And we see 3rd and a mile. That was Kai Jackson on the tackle. See a quick little route there, getting to his man, but not anywhere near first down territory. That was Abaya that got that, but it wasn't actually going to get him anywhere near where he needed to be. And we are going to be seeing a punt here out of Texas, and that was Princeton Butler, the Prince of Picks, on the tackle. I haven't introduced them all, but this Notre Dame defense is absolutely stacked up. I mentioned Kai Jackson at the middle linebacker, absolute lead. We got Princeton Butler and Ethan Nation in the cornerback positions. Those guys are absolute pick machines. We got David Sims at safety, Franklin Clinton, who you saw get the sack. I mean, this defense is absolutely stacked for Notre Dame, and I expect them to give Lamar a long night tonight, as we're also going to get our first look after this punt return at the Notre Dame offense, led out by Mr. Christian Ross, QB1, wearing number 1. He had a good game last week against Bama, and I expect him to do more of the same. Make sure he's keeping Precious Hall and Deuce Young, their elite running back duo, nice and involved, both on those handoffs when he's feeling the pressure and in the passing game. I know that Notre Dame loves to utilize both of those guys in different formations for substitution situations, and I can't wait to see them utilize that tonight as he sends his man Robespierre in motion, and we do see the handoff, but really nowhere to run. Great stop by that Texas defense, preventing them from really getting anything going, just straight back to the line of scrimmage, and that was Parker on the tackle. We see the first pass out of Christian tonight. Absolute laser on the quick slant route, getting 10 yards and a new set of downs. That's a great catch out of Jay Pickens, and I expect to see way more of him than we did last week against Bama. You see pressure coming slowly, has to settle for the dump off, but that, oh, what a spin off on that tackle. Getting a nice 8-yard gain, making it second and extremely short. Basically, the playbook is wide open for Coach Zeke on what we want to see on this play. Let's see what we go. We have a nice little curl route underneath. Absolutely clean, easy pass. That is that man right there for Notre Dame, keeping it moving. We see a whole new set of downs. Great run here as well. This looks like maybe, yep, they did give 8 yards to Hall there. And like I said, between Hall and Young, you are seeing an absolute elite running back duo. They did get the jump, but did not hike it in time to get the free play. See where he goes. Another wide open pass in the middle, and that was Jay Pickens again. And we are seeing Christian Ross coming out 4 for 4, moving the ball without any issues. 4 for 4 on passing to number 4. Jay Pickens with his second reception. Jay Pickens and Robespierre are both absolute monsters at the wide receiver slots for Notre Dame. I expect them to be utilizing them all night, but of course Dylan Williams is no slouch. And, you know, they got DJ Watts, that big tight end as well. So Notre Dame is absolutely stacked with weapons on the offensive side. And it's going to be up to this Texas defense to slow them down as we see the handoff. Deuce Young getting some good yards. We're seeing that running back duo get it going early in this game as we already are down to 5.5 minutes here in the first quarter. And what a time-controlling drive for Notre Dame. And on that Texas defense side, the big wins we're going to be looking for, of course, Darrell Franklin at strong safety, Jackson Willis, and Jaden Sanders at the corners. That secondary is really what we're going to be watching, and what Christian has to pay the most attention to will be on those deeper routes away from the D-line and the middle linebackers. As we see him try to fit that in, that was a dangerous pass as Jackson Willis was sitting right there, ready to jump the route, and honestly, I feel like if the receiver didn't interfere, we might have seen an interception there. Christian's got to be a little bit safer on these throws, especially after having such an excellent drive to this point. We see Deuce get the handoff. Not a whole lot of room to run. Just going to get a couple of yards there. Set up the 3rd and 8. And, you know, this is a big statement for Texas if they can hold them to 3 here, keep the game super close, not let Notre Dame get any kind of momentum going. Let's see what we get dialed up as he does air it out, but it is way too far gone, and they are going to have to settle for 3. Major stop by Texas, and I will attribute that to their excellent secondary, making it very difficult for Christian to find the right slot there. As Notre Dame does make the field goal to go up 3-0 on their first drive, getting points. They have to be pretty happy with that. They would, of course, have preferred to get 6, but you got to remember they kicked it off to start, so they got to be happy with having the lead as we make, you know, 2/3 of our way through this first quarter. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in on this Saturday night, Week 6 of PFL action. This week has been absolutely insane. Some of my favorite games I've ever called, some absolute drama. It has been a fantastic week of football. Thank you all for tuning in, and if you are brand new to the PFL, this is a simulation football league where you can live out your collegiate dreams and eventually make your way into the professional league. If you are new, be sure to check out that YouTube description, find our sign-up link. Get signed up, get joined in, and maybe it'll be your name I'm calling up here in the booth. We are ran by a fantastic commissioner who also happens to be the head coach of Notre Dame. Zeke, we got a great bunch of guys here, a bunch of great coaches, a bunch of great dedication, fantastic social media engagement, and again, plenty of opportunities to hear your name be called. So go ahead, get signed up, follow us on social media, subscribe to the YouTube, like this video, and let's keep this thing moving, baby. It's Saturday night. Doesn't get any better than this as we see Texas get the first down, keep this drive moving, and Lamar has to respond after going for that quick shutdown on his first sequence. Gets the free play, looks to the outside. Doesn't matter. It's still going to be first down. We're looking at 1st and 5 after the encroachment. We are seeing a lot of jumps by the defensive lines early in this game, and I think that's going to play a role. You know, these young QBs have gotten better and better at snapping the ball in time. And I tell you what, those penalties, they add up, and they're going to start to frustrate the defenses as they stack up on the penalties more and more. We see LA take the snap here. Fakes it. Tries to run it himself, but absolutely nowhere to go as he is just completely stuffed. That Notre Dame defense getting it done once again as David Sims back there helping support on that hit. Oh no, that wasn't Sims. That's my bad. That was 22 back there, not 8. I can't read. As we see Notre Dame get a big stop on the defensive side. Lamar's trying to run with that ball, but just absolutely nowhere to go. And it gets shut down, and we see the 2nd and 8 situation. And let's see if we're going to see another run out of Texas here. We are. And that's the boy, Carlos Thompson, spinning his way for the first down. Solid run there, as you can see, 7 yards after the contact. That's what they're going to need to see out of their star running back if they want to have big production on offense. This Notre Dame defense, as I keep mentioning, is very strong. You talk about the secondary, you talk about the Prince of Picks and Ethan, you know, David Sims at the safety, but it's that line, too, is strong, led by, of course, Franklin Clinton. But they do a great job at shutting down the run and putting pressure on the QB in those passing down situations. As we see, Lamar did check deep first and then ends up taking the check down. He will take those all day. We see him 5 of 6 for 38 yards. Not a huge stat sheet in this first quarter, but I'll tell you what, he will take that over the week he had last week. Absolutely. As we see Carlos get just a few yards here, but enough to get a new set of downs, and Texas has to be feeling really good on this drive as they're at what looks to be, you know, about the 38-yard line, moving the ball into Notre Dame territory. We see the delayed handoff. Carlos again trying to get to the outside, gets a few yards, already 4 rushes for 23 yards, having himself a great start to the game. Ethan Nation makes the tackle before he can get too crazy on the outside, and Texas is really trying to just utilize this run to open up the pass game as much as possible and keep LA nice and comfortable in the pocket. You see another handoff. There is a hole, but he kind of just trips on his own guy trying to jump over and hurdle him. Doesn't go anywhere. Big stop for Notre Dame. They're bringing their corners up. This could be a corner blitz here we're seeing on 3rd down. Pressure might be critical for forcing a stop. We do see the pressure coming. And almost right to the safety there. Looked like that time it was Mr. David Sims involved. Throwing right to him, but unable to come away with the interception. And Texas does get the field goal and tie it up. It is 3-3. What a way to get back onto the board, able to escape what would have been a very unfortunate interception after a very nice drive offensively. And we are going to see Notre Dame get the ball back, have their offense out on the field as we get into the 2nd quarter. We do see a penalty flag. Is this going to be a hold? Yes, it is. So they are going to go back a little bit further and just make Christian's job a little bit tougher this time as they are at the 15-yard line. We see the last play of the first quarter is a fake handoff. Christian's going to go ahead and run it. Looks like he got about 6 yards there. As we wind down the first quarter, let me see those 2s in chat. Let me know what everybody thinks about this first quarter. It is 3-3. We have seen a defensive slugfest to start this game, and I'm very interested to see how this 2nd quarter unwinds as we see Christian lining up in the shotgun. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in all of week 6. I've called a lot of games this week, and every single one has been a blast with everybody in chat. You guys keep me focused, man. I have a great time. I love hearing your feedback. And, you know, it's just a beautiful thing being a part of this league. It's so exciting for me. So, as we see Notre Dame get set up on 3rd and 4, this will be a big conversion, as obviously they want to keep the ball moving. A 3 and out here would be the opposite of what they're looking for out of this drive. Has his man, absolutely lays it in there, no problem. And that is Rose Pierre, I believe, on his first catch of the night. I expect to see a lot of him involved in this offense. I know they were getting Jay Pickens moving early, but between Rose, Pickens, and Williams, they have absolutely elite receivers at the 1, 2, and 3, the X, the Z, and the slot for those football guys out there in chat. So Notre Dame has to be feeling great about all the weapons that surround Christian. The dual running back threats, the 3 wideouts, and of course the big tight end DJ Watts as well. And we do see the handoff there. To Precious Hall, not a whole lot of room to run. He's, you know, averaging 3 yards a carry. but they're keeping both their guys active in the run game because they know it's a long game of football, and you have to have the running game established against Texas if you want to make sure to keep the ball moving, keep the ball in your possession, and keep putting that clock down more and more so the Texas offense can't go to work. You see Christian lots of time in the pocket, all day in the pocket. Pressure finally coming. Can't get rid of the ball as that is a massive sack for Lakita. Absolute hammer for Notre Dame. They did not want that at all, as now they're looking at a 3rd and I believe 23. Just absolute crunch. And Texas gets a huge momentum shift on defense, getting that way in the backfield. Christian goes down. Have to get rid of the ball a little bit faster than that, man, or else this Texas defense is going to punish you just like the Notre Dame defense will. And we see he's going to need time to get the ball moving. Just dumps it off on a little drag route, going absolutely nowhere. I don't even know if Pickens hung on to that ball. I don't even know if he was expecting it. That was a crazy, crazy pass there. And Notre Dame is going to be forced to punt and give the ball back to Texas. Does look like it got punched out, so that will go down as an incomplete pass. As Notre Dame gets set to punt, Texas is going to have good field position to start. Absolute monster of a punt, though. It looks like they're really only going to be in the 26 or 27-yard line. What a kick by that punter to put Texas, instead of, being close to midfield, pretty far back. And we see the highlight on Carlos Thompson, who is absolutely, like I said, a fantastic running back, a central part of this Texas offense. And I expect to see more and more and more involvement out of him as the game continues on and allowing themselves to let LA get comfortable. And if you're Notre Dame, that is the exact opposite of what you're looking for. You want LA to feel scrambled and try to force passes that he can't quite fit. But right now, he's having himself a great game, being that field general, being very decisive, getting the ball where he needs it to go in order to see progress. He has a man again, absolute dot. He is doing a fantastic job as he gets it out to Reyes. And Texas is keeping that ball moving on this drive. That's Reyes' first catch for 18 yards. And that's Ethan Nation on the tackle once again, already up to 3 tackles for this game. He is all over the field on these tackles, but we just got to see a little bit tighter coverage out of this Notre Dame defense. Again, they are stacked in that secondary. Fantastic, fantastic leader in Kai Jackson at the middle linebacker spot. So I know this Notre Dame defense has higher expectations than what they're seeing from themselves right now. Great stop there, forcing the 2nd and 10, just barely getting back to the line of scrimmage for Carlos Thompson. As we see LA send his man in motion, we see another handoff going to the outside. Room to run, try to just barrel over a guy. Can't quite get there, as they do end up making a tackle. That is Sims on the tackle, his first of the night. And now we see a 3rd and 4 out of Texas. Does deliver and gets the first down. LA is hitting right now, as that is Abaya on another catch, being right where he needs to be, as we see Henderson make that tackle. But that is ideal for Texas, keeping the ball moving, continuing to produce on offense on what it will be, to me, a critical drive of this first half. You can see the clock slowly ticking down, just getting to 7 minutes remaining in this half, and Texas definitely wants to get 6 points on the board as they try to run with Carlos, but he has nowhere to go, as that is the 2nd tackle for loss out of Cauley right there. Absolutely great hit, and containing Carlos is not an easy feat. He has had his way on a couple of defenses in this CS2 and PFL, so being able to shut him down is going to be perfect for Notre Dame if they can continue to do that. And if you're Texas, you got to be feeling good about LA's performance early in this one, as we can see the confidence in the empty set, 3 to the top, 2 at the bottom. It is a designed QB draw, but just nowhere to go. You see he's got only 2 rushes for -3 yards. Absolutely nowhere on that one as Lacey goes ahead and bring him down. Texas went with a little bit of a bold play call to me after the last failed run on 1st down. Now they're in a 3rd and almost certainly passing situation. That was a great job by Lacey to break off of the left guard and get to the quarterback and get the tackle. before he can do anything. You see 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom, 1 in the backfield. Just takes a snap, does go to Carlos, his old trusty running back, to get the pace, to get the catch, as I try to say pass and catch at the same time. Doesn't quite get the first, and Texas is going to have to settle for 3. Folks, this is the battle of the field goals of this first half. When I talk about these defenses, this is what I'm talking about. There is not a lot of production on the offensive side. We are seeing the ball move. We are seeing a lot of clock get eaten. But at the end of the day, both of these defenses are on bend, don't break time. And we see that again as Notre Dame gets some great tackles and forces the 3 instead of the 6 out of Texas. We see Carlton line up, get ready to take the kick. He does so, and it does look like that's going in. It is 6-3 for Texas. They got to be feeling good that they got themselves the lead once again. But if you're Notre Dame, you are happy with the bend don't break approach, and you are ready for your offense to lead this charge and try to either tie it up or, obviously preferred, get that lead back going into halftime. We see a pretty solid kick return as he rolls his way. That's Jay Pickens rolling his way to the 26-yard line. I expect to see him involved on this drive. We do know that Coach Zeke loves to lean into his running back duo. But with 5 minutes and 10 seconds left, I expect him to rely on Christian and try to keep that ball moving. Try to get Jay Pickens involved. Try to get Dylan Williams involved. And, of course, keep feeding Rose Pierre and trying to get into that end zone. Lots of time. Again, pressure finally coming. Has no choice but to get rid of it. It's great that he did, because last time, as we know, he didn't and got sacked for a massive loss, but does manage to get it out. Goes for the dump off. Lots of room. Look at that as Deuce stretches the ball over the line. Continues to keep the ball moving, and we got a new set of downs for Notre Dame. Christian takes the snap here in the shotgun. Goes to the running back again. Dumps it off to Deuce. Gets a few yards going. The clock's still ticking as we just get under 4 minutes here in this first half. We're going to see the handoff this time. Does try to find the hole, but ends up getting tackled as that defensive lineman sheds off his blocker to make that hit. We've got 3rd and 2. That was adding more on the tackle. Big 3rd down conversion. Tries to pass it. His own guy kind of gets in his way, so he has nowhere to go as he could not sprint out of that handoff. Really strange run play there out of Notre Dame. I almost feel like there was some kind of miscommunication between who was supposed to get the ball. As you can see, 82, that big boy DJ Watts, clearly supposed to be in a blocking position. Instead, kind of blocks his own guy and prevents Hall from getting to that first down. And Notre Dame is forced to punt here, leaving a good amount of time on the clock for Texas to get this ball back and try and get themselves another score. As he does field the kick, gets a couple of yards, and looks like LA's got it at the 15 with 2 minutes and 42 seconds and all 3 timeouts to try and get Texas in a spot to extend this lead. As we see Carlos getting highlighted once again, I do think this will be a drive where LA gets to air it out, but he has to be really careful. We know the Prince of Picks, we know Ethan, we know David. They're all going to be looking to get a turnover and flip the momentum of this game back into Notre Dame's favor. LA looks over the middle, has a man, delivers, and it looks like they're going to just keep it moving. It is 2nd and 1 with 2:10 on the clock. They are in the I form, but I think this is going to be a play action here. Yes, it is. As he's going, has his man on the little post route, almost to the 50-yard line. Absolute laser by LA. He's coming out here already with 107 passing yards, trying to prove a point that last week against Utah was an absolute fluke, and he is here to be that guy at Texas, delivering LA. This is a huge 2-minute drill for him, and if they can get even just 3 out of this, it'll be big. But if they can get a touchdown and turn it into a full-on 2-possession game, that will be massive for Texas here. LA tries to get a jump but doesn't. Seems like he is running down a good amount of this clock. I guess he doesn't want to give Notre Dame too much time if they do happen to score and give the ball back. He's going for that quick route again. Has his man, delivers. And Notre Dame is in there with the hit right away. But man, they are having pretty much exactly what Texas was looking for right now off this drive. That is David Sims on the tackle. Got it right this time. But we see that Texas is able to keep the ball moving. We have a 2nd and short here. The playbook's pretty open. He's just going to take the dump off. I don't necessarily agree with that. I get that he's going with the safe play, but there really wasn't anywhere for Carlos to move beyond that. That almost felt like a hospital pass. Has both flats open, and I do think that's going to pass the first down marker, getting Texas a new set of downs and stopping the clock. As you see, 3 to the top, 1 to the bottom. A little quick fake handoff, lots of time. Once again, wants it all, going for the end zone. Oh my goodness! It was in his hands, but he just drops it. Doesn't even look like he got really hit that hard. Great breakup defense there out of Notre Dame, preventing the score. And LA is just delivering lasers as he gets another one here. That's, 86's 5th catch already on the night. I think that's Billingsley, I believe is his name, as Moore is on the tackle. But man, LA is delivering these dots, and I definitely feel like they had a touchdown there, and that ball was just barely dropped. But they're going to have themselves another opportunity to score here with the quickness and still have all their timeouts. So right now, Texas is having a great end of half drive. As we see LA get ready to take the snap here. 3 at the top, 1 in the bottom, 1 in the backfield. He's definitely feeling himself. He's going over the middle again. Has his man. Definitely has the space this time. Hangs on to the ball and gets into the end zone. That is Reyes one more time. This is absolutely huge for Texas. What a score here. As assuming this extra point goes in, it will be a 10-point game. What a bounce back right now. You see Coach Zeke over there on the sidelines. He is pissed. He has a much higher expectation out of his secondary, a much higher expectation out of this Notre Dame defense, and being down by 10 going into halftime is not what he was looking for out of this game. As both teams really were looking for a bounce back after the week they had, and this is not the start to the game that Notre Dame was looking for. And they have to be a little bit more careful, as they're, maybe they can get something done, maybe get 3 points within these 28 seconds, as coach is giving his guys more and more advice. But they have to make sure that they do not let this game get away from them. We all know Texas can score and pile it on, and after the defensive slugfest we saw in the first quarter, it's going to be absolutely vital that Notre Dame does not let this game slip away, and that if they do, go out into that second half, that they do get some points on the board. Because, we've seen some big leads start to balloon here in the PFL. But if I'm Notre Dame, if I'm Christian Ross, I'm thinking, Coach, give me some play designs that give me a chance to at least get us in field goal range off these 3 timeouts. And I do believe that's what we're going to see here. We have seen some great protection. He does go for the little dump off. I believe that's out of bounds. Yes, it was. So the clock did stop. As that was DJ Watts with the catch as well. We're seeing Christian, he's looking, tries to find his man, but overthrows it there. You can see those stats, 8 of 13 for 75 yards. A pretty quiet half overall for QB1 tonight for Notre Dame, as the pressure's coming, nowhere to go. Absolutely hammered in the backfield, and we see the timeout as Texas says, let's get the ball back. With, a few seconds left to try to run a couple of Hail Marys. Absolute massive sack lunch. Christian has just been getting dogged in the backfield. He has had some time on some plays, but overall that D-line is getting to him, man, and getting to him fast. Oh, nope, we're going to see a handoff to Carlos anyway. We do see a flag. I'm guessing that's going to be a hold. Oh, that was a face mask. I couldn't even really see the tackle. That's huge. As that's going to get the ball all the way to Notre Dame's 44-yard line, which gives Texas plenty of space to try to heave one into the end zone. And it did look like they were just going to let the half wind down there. Let's see if this ends up being a huge play. LA's going to need some time in the pocket. I'm excited to see how this half ends. He's going for it. It's in the back of the end zone in a sea of green. absolutely said no chance we're going to let you end on an insane play like that. And that is the end of the first half, folks. What an exciting first half of football. If you're a Texas fan, you're loving what you're seeing. If you're a Notre Dame fan, you're not very upset at your defense, but boy, oh boy, you're not happy with your offense right now as you see the stats. So for me, the biggest things I'm looking for in the second half are going to be Christian Ross, that running back duo of Hall and Young, as well as that amazing receiving room of Rose-Pierre, Pickens, and Williams, really getting the ball moving for Notre Dame. And if I'm Texas, the biggest thing I'm looking for in the second half is just more of the same. LA's been delivering some absolute dots, and they're going to need him to continue to do so if they want to hold on and come away with the victory here against the Fighting Irish. I talked about this last week in the Bama game, but Notre Dame does a great job at sticking around and being there when push comes to shove and fourth quarter starts to roll around. So I'm very interested to see how this third quarter goes. And I do anticipate Notre Dame's going to try to come out and get it back to being within one possession as we see some highlights here. But again, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. And one more time, if you are new to the PFL, please check out that description. Join up, hit us up in the Discord. Follow us on Instagram. Hit us up on Instagram. Make sure you're liking this video, subscribing to the YouTube, checking out our podcast, checking out the previous games. And who knows, maybe next week it'll be me calling your name up here in the booth. As we see Jay Pickens come out on the return, Notre Dame does get the ball to start the half, which is obviously a big deal. But they are going to be looking to make a statement and get some points on the board right away, as that is going to be a massive, massive difference maker if they can start this drive off hot and start the second half off with a bang. We see a very clear run formation here. We do see the play action. The pressure is coming, but he finds his man. That's Jay Pickens. That is some beautiful play design on the first play out of the half by Coach Zeke. Line it up in a formation that looks like a clear run. They know you have elite running backs back there. You're just starting in the half. You're down by 10, and instead you absolutely bust the defense open on a beautiful play action. Great route by Jay Pickens. Heavily involved in this offense so far, and that's got to get Christian Ross's confidence sky high as we see the empty set. They are trusting this man. Has another target that is Deuce, I believe. Yes, it was. And they are keeping the ball moving. This is a very, very fast start to the half for Notre Dame in an ideal position to get some points on the board. As we do see the run there, I don't know if that's quite going to make it. That might be 3rd and inches. Yes, it is. That was Precious Hall trying to spin his way to the first down, but the defensive line not giving him the room in order to give him that chains. We do see a pass here on 3rd and barely a millimeter. Pressure coming. Has to sling it out. Oh my God! What a catch by Rose-Pierre. Oh my goodness, what a throw by Christian Ross. I was shocked that they threw it considering there's about a millimeter to the first down. He hit that as he was getting absolutely crunched into the corner of the sideline. What a grab, what a throw. My hat is off to you, Christian and Rose-Pierre. What a link up there. Seeing that man get more involved here in the second half is huge. And Notre Dame is knocking on the doors. We see the fake. Going to handle it himself. Nowhere really to go. It's just protecting that ball, but not really looking upfield. Is he just looking left to right? Not, you know, up, down on the important side of the field. He was just straight running to his left. And that is going to be a loss of 1 and behind slightly on the chains as we are looking at 2nd and 11. This highlight's kind of funny watching him run like that. But I think Notre Dame either has to lean on their running back duo here, or maybe let Christian try to lay out another dot, as we did see a big tackle by number 7 out of Texas there to get that drop in the backfield. We do see an empty set. They are sending a man in motion. It is a touch pass. Nowhere to go, though, as 90 absolutely rips off his blocker once again and tackles Jay Pickens in the backfield for a loss of 3 yards. And Zeke says, oh no, these last 2 plays have not gone anything like I hoped they would, and we're going to have to see what he dots up on a very important 3rd and 14. Yes, you're not that mad if you have to end up kicking a field goal, but obviously you would prefer to get a little bit closer to make it easier, or ideally keep the drive moving and get a first down. Lots of time. This O-line is just crunching, guys. Pressure finally coming. Man, oh man, and he almost throws an interception. Christian had all day back there. Loves to wait to throw until he's about to get absolutely slammed into by the defensive line. And Notre Dame is forced to settle for a field goal. Texas with the bend don't break philosophy working out perfectly. And we do see the kick is up and good, and we have ourselves a one-possession game once again. Ton of time burned off the clock for Notre Dame, which is probably good for them because you're giving LA less and less time of possession. You see, a good drive there out of them. And we're going to get our first look at LA in the second half. He absolutely went crazy at the end of the first, and I'd love to see more of the same out of him. I do think they're going to keep Carlos nice and involved, of course, as really I feel like the offense runs through him. But LA's having himself a hell of a game so far, and I'm really excited to see how he continues to build up these connections and continue to respond after his abysmal performance from the week before. We see the quick pass, quick slant route, has his man. That is a Abaya once again. NJ's just been feasting tonight, being exactly where he needs to be on these routes, and LA is finding him time and time again. And there it is. Now, that's a different guy, but it's the same basic route design of just these double drags or double slants, and they've had those all night long. LA is just delivering. Says, get out of here to all the haters as he continues to deliver these dots. And if you're the Notre Dame defense, you have to be kind of shocked right now. You have an elite middle linebacker, you have an elite corner duo, and an elite safety in David Sims, along with pressure coming from Franklin Clinton. And you are just getting kind of torched on the defensive side of the ball. And this is not like them. Notre Dame has been locked in defensively all year here in CS2, and it is just not really going their way tonight. And I don't know if I want to say it's the best defense is a better offense, or if they just haven't quite found the right play calls yet against this Texas offense. But it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this game shapes up as LA decides to run it himself. His first really solid run tonight. As you can see, he takes care of his negative yardage. Goes to 3 rushes for 10 yards, averaging 3.3 repeating yards a carry. And that's going to be big for his confidence, I feel, as his last 2 fake handoff options or read options haven't gone as he wanted them to go. But that was a big one for him, and Texas is just really doing whatever they want on the offensive side of the ball. You saw him rip that man right off him and then take the secondary tackle to bring him down. They are now on the 27-yard line and keeping things going nice and smooth. They finally get Carlos involved. Not a whole lot of room to run. You see he's got 10 carries for 37 yards, averaging 3.7 a carry. So he's at least averaging, the first down numbers of a 3.5. But this has been the LA show all night. Pressure coming. Notre Dame gets a huge sack. They desperately needed that. That is Lacey with the sack there. Also has 2 tackles on his night. But that is a huge, huge hit for Notre Dame. That is the big sack lunch. They really needed that because Texas has been able to just do what they want on offense. And that has shut that down. Now we know LA might be a little bit more shaken. This is a very obvious passing situation at 3rd and 16. So we're going to see what Texas tries to cook up here. Maybe they just try to get a little bit closer and go for a chip shot. Or maybe he goes for it all. Has the man, hangs on to the ball. What? What? No, he didn't, right? There's no way. There's no way he hung on to that. Oh, no. Okay, it says 4th down. I didn't even see that. Oh my goodness. I was losing it as they do manage to knock that ball loose and force the field goal. Oh man, I thought NJ might have hung on to that for a sec. I was about to just lose my mind. But Texas does have to settle for 3. Does knock it in, and it is back to a 10-point game. 16-6 with Texas leading. And I just want to give big credit to Princeton Butler, I believe, was on that coverage. forcing that ball out, preventing the first down, and forcing Texas to have to settle for 3. So great job, Prince. As we see, Jay Pickens going to take this out once again, just gets to the 20-yard line. And we're going to need to see, 7 points here, I feel like, out of Notre Dame. We're getting to the real key parts, getting towards the end of the game, the final third of the game. And we're going to need to see some great offensive production if Notre Dame wants to get their way back into this. You can't keep having these field goals and then turning it right back into a 2-possession game. You want to get your foot on the gas and get 6 points here on this very important drive. We see him send the man in motion. They do start off with a run play this time instead of the play action like last drive. And just like that, we see a great run out of Precious Hall, keeping the ball moving into second and short. Now the playbook is way more wide open, and they can really do whatever they like on this second and fourth down. We do see another handoff to Deuce, gets a couple, and honestly, I could just see them slamming one more run here, maybe to that left-hand side, just to try to get that first down, just a couple of yards. Fakes it, tries to set the screen up, nowhere to go. No one was fooled by that. It did look like that was an option play. He didn't have to go to the receiver. He could have gone with the run, which would have definitely been the right decision. And this is the opposite of what Notre Dame was looking for on this drive, as they barely had the ball for a minute and a half and are forced to punt it back to Texas, as we see Coach Nickerson taking some advice from his staff. But overall, he has had himself a hell of a game. Some fantastic play calling. Absolutely great job out of the Texas head coach tonight. And they are really seeing exactly what they wanted to see out of their performance. But we see a massive fumble. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? There's no way. What a play by the Notre Dame special teams. I think this might be reviewed because it almost looked like he was down. You see Coach Zeke is absolutely ecstatic. I thought that was going to be down by contact. They got to show the tackle though. But oh my God, if that ends up standing, that is an absolute huge play for Notre Dame. We do see the booth review. I mean, that is a momentum shifter. Let's see if we can get a good angle at whether or not this ball was out or he was down. There is the knee. That I think he's down there. Let's see. Knees down. Oh, it's close. The ball starts wobbling. I don't know. They might let this stand, but I think they're going to reverse this call here. The ball was a little wobbly. But no, they did reverse the call, and LA and this offense is back to work. It's 16-6, but even when they reverse calls like that, sometimes it gets teams super excited because of how close it was. So who knows, maybe Notre Dame's feeling pumped up as we see that pass broken up for no gain, 2nd and 10. Maybe Notre Dame's getting a little bit more excited. Maybe we're going to see some big hits out of Kai Jackson. Or somebody like David Sims who loves to lay guys flat. Maybe we're going to start to see a little bit of momentum shift here after that. But, oh my goodness, LA puts another laser out there. And he is just doing whatever he wants, as we saw Ethan Nation on the tackle. But he is putting the ball in spots that we haven't seen for a few weeks out of him. And Texas has already passed 200 yards in the air. Reyes is absolutely cooking, and LA is continuing to deliver the ball exactly where he needs to. These are small windows, but he just keeps getting it exactly right. And we do see the handoff to Carlos. Carlos, again, when Texas is running, they seem to be going to those left to right style runs, trying to get Carlos outside, but just doesn't really have anywhere to go. And now they are going to be behind the chains on 2nd and 11, as we see some of the players getting super excited over there. And Texas knows if they score here, that's going to be a huge deal for them. But Notre Dame is trying their absolute hardest to make sure that does not happen. And they have the defense to do it. You see them bringing the corners up. There could be some pressure here. Let's see if Notre Dame sends or if this is just a fake. LA sends the man in motion. Does look like they are going to bring some pressure. The blitz is picked up really well, and they do find a good pass to keep a little bit more yards, make up for that loss, and then some, and set up a 3rd and very manageable of 3 yards. And with a team like Texas, I really do feel like this is still an open playbook on 3rd and 3. And if you're Notre Dame, I feel like you just want to have enough people in the box that he's not going to feel comfortable in that pocket. As you do see the empty set, 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Let's see where he throws that ball on the quick curl route. And that is just automatic for Reyes. He is going to catch those 999 times out of 1,000. He's already at 4 catches for 70 yards. We see Thompson make the tackle, but Texas is able to keep those chains moving. And this is getting more and more into danger territory as they are officially on Notre Dame's side of the ball. And Notre Dame has to start being a little bit more worried, because if we see a touchdown here as we're winding down the 3rd quarter, that could be a nail in the coffin. You see the fake. I don't know. We saw that same kind of hesitation on the run just earlier in the Georgia-Miami game yesterday. So I don't really know what these quarterbacks are doing on some of these read options where they seem a little lost, as we see LA overthrow that one on the quick slant route. But they got to be getting out of those read options sprinting, not jogging. These defensive guys are way too fast for plays like that. And you know what? Again, Notre Dame hitting with the bend, don't break. Big tackle there, preventing the first down as Billingsley gets another catch. But White is right there on 7 tackles for the night. That man has been bringing everybody down. As we see Coach super excited over there, just saying, hey, listen, we probably should have got that first down, but I'm still happy with what I'm seeing out of this offense. And we're going to take the 3 and go up by 13, which is a sight to see. If you're a Texas fan, you are loving how this game's going. Oh my goodness, that's not what Coach was saying at all. He was saying we're going to get aggressive with it. Fakes the handoff, rolling out LA, looking, has a wide open man all the way down to the 13-yard line. Oh my goodness, what a bold play call out of that head coach, and Zeke is not having it. He is tired of his defensive performance today, as that's going to wind down the 3rd quarter. What a play call. Doesn't go to the run, goes to the rollout on that left side. Trusts LA to deliver, as he has been all night. And I do believe, no, we will not see a play come off. And get your 4s up in the chat. Honestly, let me hear what you think about that last play and that decision to go for it. It does obviously work out for them. Maybe they're thinking the difference between 10 and 13 is so small, but the difference between 10 and 17 is massive. Thank you, PFL Nation, for being here. Let's see how Texas closes out this drive. If they can get a score here, it basically becomes insurmountable for Notre Dame. We would have to see something ridiculous, as we see Coach Zeke yelling at his guys saying, what are we doing? We need to wake up. Notre Dame desperately needs to be on bend, don't break right here. This is a critical stop to hold him to 3 and keep it a 2-possession game. As you see the handoff to Carlos, he's fighting, he's still fighting. Almost crosses the line there. So close to getting his first touchdown of the night. Texas already over 300 yards of offensive production. They have really been able to do whatever they want on this side of the ball, which is just so opposite of what we've seen out of Notre Dame this year. It is a crazy experience watching this game up here in the booth. This is a stunned Fighting Irish crowd, as we do see the 1st and goal basically right on the line. We do see the goal line defense. Let's see if they can get a stop. We see the handoff, and no, he says, get off me, as Carlos basically bullies his way into the end zone for his first touchdown of the night. And that is that massive 17-point differential we're talking about, as we see Coach Nick super excited about what his team is delivering on. And we get another touchdown out of Texas. And man, this Texas team is looking good. They said, we get it, Notre Dame. You had a great performance against the #1 team. You're right behind us in the rankings, but we're going to try to create a little bit more of a gap and slide into that top 5 going into week 7. What a way to end our week 6 of PFL action, folks, with a very surprising result up to this point. Can we see that man Christian Ross come out here and deliver the start of what would be an absolutely incredible comeback? You see his teammates trying to give him a little bit of a pep talk here, as they're going to need to see some excellent performance in order to make that happen. This Fighting Irish crowd is still bringing in the noise for their team, but I can tell just by being up here in the booth that they are stunned at what we are seeing tonight. What a performance out of Texas so far. And Notre Dame needs their leader. They need this man to come out here and show that they are still fighting. They are still part of this game. And let's see what Coach Sadiq has cooked up on this drive. See him take the snap. Pressure coming. Finds his man, delivers a dot, and keeps it moving. I do believe that was Jay Pickens with an absolute king of a sideline grab. That was fantastic to see, and we see another completion there. That's the big boy. That's their fantastic tight end. DJ Watts making the grab there as we have 2nd and 1. They're moving, basically doing whatever they want now. Where has this offense been as they get the ball to midfield? That was Deuce on the handoff there, but they are really just moving this ball fast, and obviously a touchdown is absolutely necessary here to start a comeback. And at the speed they're going, this is basically the perfect design drive for Notre Dame as we see the first incompletion of the drive to set up 2nd and 10, but hey, that gives them a little bit of a breather. And you see LA and company on the sideline talking about the performance that they've been having tonight. You see Christian stepping back, has time in the pocket, finds his man on the outside. That is complete to Rose Pierre, setting up a very much more manageable 3rd and looks like 4.5. We're going to see what Notre Dame decides to cook up to try to get this conversion. Christian's looking over the middle, has his man once again. That's Jay Pickens fighting over a man to get an extra few yards. He's on 6 catches for 79 yards. Jay Pickens is definitely saying, get the ball to me, and I'm going to try to make something happen. As we see Coach Nickerson once again hyping his guys up, letting them know that, hey, no matter what happens on this drive, I know no matter what this offense has us, and I know we're not going to let this lead slip away. But Notre Dame is saying to themselves, we are going to get some momentum, get this crowd involved. Let's get a touchdown on the board right now. Lots of time in the pocket. Ends up settling for the little out route. Can't quite get it to his man. I do feel like he had that reception, but was just a little bit too strong of a throw. We're going to see Christian take this next one on 2nd and 10. Has the little curl route underneath. Does get it to Deuce to make it a little bit more manageable on 3rd down. And we're going to see what they design here. Sends a man in motion. It does look like a run play. Nope, he is going to go for the pass. Pressure coming so fast as 94 brings him down with the huge sack, setting up the 4th and long. Absolutely killer. And I don't think Notre Dame has a choice but to go for it here to try to get 6 points on the board. The pump fake does not work out. The pressure came way too fast. And that Texas defensive line, Tyler Parker delivers an absolutely massive sack, points right to the skies, probably thanking the Lord above on what could have been the play that ends this one, folks. As we see Christian take the snap, looks for his man, doesn't quite get there, but there is a flag. Is that pass interference? Yes, it is. Oh my God. Absolutely huge, as that was about to be a turnover on downs, but now Notre Dame is in a position where they might get a touchdown. Is this the momentum shift they needed? We see the double fake. Christian's got time, he's looking, ends up settling and just throwing it away because there was great coverage out there by Texas secondary. And you know, we have been seeing great things out of Franklin, Willis, and Sanders, so I'm not surprised that we're continuing to see excellent coverage in the secondary. Minus that one mental mistake just now, that penalty, they have been performing at an extremely high level tonight against this loaded Notre Dame offense. As we see the pass to Jay Pickens, once again we see Christian Roth's stats down there, 18 of 28 for 188 yards, and Jay Pickens' stats as well. But Notre Dame has just not really been able to get this ball moving in the red zone. We have a 4th and 4. They are going to be going for it once again. I highly doubt Texas is going to rip themselves another penalty. We saw, 7 there. Jameson got a little greedy trying to get the pick, and that's what allowed that reception. But this is it, folks. This is the play. After this, it could be a very different game. He's going for the end zone again. Has his man. That's a catch. That's a touchdown. Notre Dame, his 5th receiving touchdown on the year. Absolutely massive. That's the boy, Dylan Williams. Is this the start of a comeback for Notre Dame? Both 4th downs. First, they got a little bit of help from the penalty, but on that 4th down, they get the conversion. Obviously, they're still a little upset as there is still basically a mountain to climb. But Dylan said, no, give me that ball. Let me bring that down and at least get some points on the board and help my stats out a little bit, help Christian's stats out a little bit, as they do get it within 10. And now they got to kick it off and rely that their defense can get a 3 and out. Because if they get a 3 and out here, as Coach Zeke is getting pretty excited, if they can get a 3 and out here and get the ball back to the offense in a good spot, or better yet, get a turnover, we could see a very different ball game. And if I'm Texas, if I'm Coach Nick, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, I'm just going to be running this to Carlos. Let him get us a couple of first downs, burn through 4 minutes of this clock, and shut this game down as we still have a 2-possession lead. They're finally highlighting LA, who's come out and made a statement, and they are making another statement with an empty set here. LA with a massive bounce-back game after his game against Utah. And we see him easily feed the ball over, get the yards moving, keeps in bounds. We see his stats again, 275 yards, touchdowns. He is absolutely feasting versus what he was doing a week ago. But we do see Notre Dame get a huge tackle on that Carlos Thompson run. It is 3rd and 1, and this is what I'm talking about, folks. If they can stuff this run here and get the ball back, it will be a game changer. We see the play action. What a play call once again. I have to clap for Coach Nickerson here. This is amazing, bold play calling, going for these play actions, doing things that is just unexpected out of this offense when they're in these what look like clear running spots. These play actions are getting guys open and allowing them to move the ball, and that might just seal the deal, folks, that first down conversion. That 3 and out would have been massive for Notre Dame. Not able to get it done, and I think we're just going to see some handoffs here as that clock is going to continue to run. Notre Dame's not calling timeouts. We do see a 3-yard loss there out of Carlos, but honestly, I don't think Texas cares that much at this point. All they really care about is that clock going down, down, down. And I really do feel like the energy in this building just got completely zapped by that conversion, as it really did seem like Notre Dame might have been able to do something, but obviously at this stage that is no longer the case. As we see another handoff here, there's the timeout. It is 3rd and very, very long coming up, and I want to say Texas just does an inside zone handoff here, but as we've seen time and time again, I get proven wrong on these play calls because they really are just trying to seal this game up. Delivers another dot, but not going to be enough for the first down. Notre Dame is going to get another chance, is going to get the ball back. Now, if this was a 1-possession game, you guys know me, you've heard me enough, I would be so much more excited right now. But at 250 in a 2-possession game, we still need to basically see a miracle out of this Notre Dame team as we almost get a coffin punt. Can Christian Ross deliver an absolute miracle for the Fighting Irish? We are about to find out. Let's see what Coach Z cooks up on this drive to try to get Notre Dame in that end zone as fast as possible. Pressure coming. Absolute nightmare start. Is able to get the ball off, but almost takes a massive sack, which would have immediately just derailed the entire drive. The Notre Dame offensive line has not been able to contain any kind of rush out of Texas, whether they send 3, 4, or, of course, 5. But this pressure has just been continuous tonight. Christian Ross is going to dump it off. Does look like he got out of bounds, so that should stop the clock. But they're now looking at 3rd and 4, and just like that, they could be facing, an immediate 4th down type of situation. Christian almost throws an interception, basically right in the hands of that defender, but is not able to hang on to the ball to get the pick. I do believe that was Sanders, and we do see the turnover. Oh my goodness. That was the fastest back and forth I think I've seen in a hot minute, as he is clearly not going to get it done, and it is going to go back to Lamar. And just like that, folks, I think that will wrap this game up. Notre Dame did do everything they could. They obviously fought. They tried to utilize that fourth down, but the luck they had on the previous drive when it came to fourth down conversions was not happening for them again. They're still going to call a timeout here, but honestly, at this stage, Texas should be able to just hand the ball off a couple times and lock this game up. Yes, Notre Dame, unless a first down happens, will receive the ball. But at this stage, clearly, with no timeouts and the amount of time on the clock and the score, this one is going to be over. So the main talking points, as I've got you guys towards the end of this game, I'd like to discuss is LA had an absolute monster of a bounce back. I discussed this on the In the Booth pod. If you guys didn't watch that, please go back and do so. But I said I really wanted to see a bounce back game out of LA. I felt like this was his chance to do something huge and show to everyone that he is an elite quarterback in the nation and someone that deserves to be in that conversation. And he has delivered. No turnovers, putting the ball in places over and over and over again, doing everything he needs to do to put his team in a position to win. LA really did have himself a bounce back game. And I also want to give huge credit to the Texas head coach for some fantastic play calling and great decision making throughout this game to put his team in a position to win. So those are my biggest takeaways for Texas, and my biggest takeaways for Notre Dame. Honestly, I don't think Christian Ross had that bad of a performance. You can see here 20 of 33, 190 yards and a touchdown. But if I'm thinking about Notre Dame, I have to put some pressure on their defensive side, saying, listen guys, you are way too talented, way too skilled on this side of the ball to let Texas put 26 on your head. And that's where I think the focus has to be on. It's just on tightening up a little bit on the defensive side and giving Christian in this offense a few more opportunities to try and score and create some, a little bit closer, a little bit more of a tight race between their opponents. So those are my biggest takeaways. Chat, let me know if you agree or disagree, what your own thoughts are. I'm sure I'll hear about it in the Discord. And speaking of the Discord, as we do see an absolute incredible catch, I'm not going to completely stop talking about the game, but what a grab from Dylan Williams as we see Texas celebrating on the sidelines. Got to give him credit there. That was an amazing pass and a great catch as well. But, speaking of the Discord, again, if you're new to the PFL, make sure that you are subscribing, first off, to this YouTube, liking this video, but also make sure you check out that description, get signed up to the league, and it'll be me commentating on your game next. We are ran by a fantastic commissioner in Zeke. We have a great group of guys who all want to see each other succeed and make our way from college to the pros, and we can't wait to have you join up with us. And again, this was John Smith in the booth as we do see a little consolidation touchdown out of Notre Dame. Where was this offense all night, folks? That's all I have. Where was this offense all night as we see him get it within a one-possession game? If they were able to cook like this all night, they would have been in a way better position. Then all that talk I have about the defense wouldn't have even mattered, as we see an absolute mossing from Rose Pierre there to hang on to the ball and get that touchdown. All that talk I had about the defense trying to keep Texas points down wouldn't even matter if the offense was able to work like this all night long. But ultimately, we see him get it within 6. They're going to go ahead and dap each other up, be a little bit excited, as we saw an elite drive out of Christian Ross there. But it is too little too late, as of course they have no timeouts. So basically, it's this onside kick or bust. Let's see what happens. Texas, the hands team does recover, and I know they're just going to line up in victory formation, and that's going to wrap it up. Notre Dame did try their hardest to get back into this one, and that score makes it look a lot closer than I felt like the game was throughout the night. So again, my hat's off to Texas, their play calling, their decision making. Notre Dame, I think you guys really are a great team, and you're right there. You are so close to being in a position where you are a playoff contender. that I feel like you just got to stay focused and keep fighting, and you will get there. As we see LA take the knee, maybe have to take it one more time to wrap this game up. We see Texas saying we want to be in that top 5 conversation, and if we're not, it's going to be a problem. So that is going to wrap up PFL Week 6. Some absolutely fantastic football action. I had a great time all week up here in the booth, chatting with everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed the calls. It's been an absolutely fantastic week of football action. Don't forget, next week, we'll obviously getting towards now what will be the back half of the season. We'll have episode 2 of the In the Booth podcast next Tuesday. We got a game on Monday, games on Wednesday, games on Thursday, 2 games on Friday, and as always, 2 games on Saturday. So I cannot wait to catch you guys all next week. Shout out to my producer Zeke, collecting some stats out here for us. Shout out to all the work you do, man. I really do appreciate it. And once again, this is John Smith in the booth, signing off. Thank you, everybody, so much. Have a wonderful night, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.